Hey, so it's been a while since I recorded something. I know I put a video out like last week or whatever, but that was recorded ages ago. I'm sitting in front of a new shelf that is just mostly full of manga because I moved and everything is in chaos because, you know, moving kind of sucks. But I want to do a Friday Reads video, and I've never done one before, and I meant to do one last week for Friday, but that was also a moving week, so then that didn't happen, so this is like the last 2 weeks of Friday Reads, so it's a decent amount of books. I've also been going through like a weird reading shifting phase where I actually haven't read a novel in the last 2 weeks, but I've read a lot of manga, so I mean, spoiler, this is just gonna be all manga. I'm gonna start with the ones that I liked the least, and then kind of move on to the ones, or finish off this video with the things that I liked the most that I read this month. So, I mean, like ending on a high note, it's a good thing. So, I read Yotsuba. I think it's technically Yotsuba and 1 and 2. It's just this cute little manga about a little girl named Yotsuba who's kind of just, you know, dumb. And she just does dumb things and gets her neighbors caught up in it and her dad caught up in it, who's also kind of dumb. Everyone's just sort of dumb. The manga itself is not that dumb. It's cute. I like it. It's fluffy. It's not really gonna hook me, I don't think, but like I've got the first 4 volumes on the shelf, so I'll read it and I might pick up ones later on as we go along. I don't know though. I'm not really fond of the manga stories that are like, this girl is dumb, let's just follow her dumb life and her dumb friends. And it's not really for me, but it is kind of funny, so I'm sticking with it. Another thing that I read this last 2 weeks is the Omnibus volume, or the Collector's Edition Volume 1, I guess, of Fruits Basket, which follows a girl, Toru Honda, who ends up living with people who are cursed with the spirits of the 12 signs of the Chinese zodiac. I mean, technically 13 because the cat's involved with it. I mean, most people know this story and this series, but I don't. I read like maybe 1 volume of like the original manga when it was being published, and now I have like the first 3 of the collected volumes on this shelf. Yes. So I mean, I'm gonna read those. People tell me that I will cry while reading this, and the first volume did end in a kind of emotional meh. I don't know the word I was looking for there, but like I didn't get super emotionally attached to anyone in this story so far. I mean, later on, after a few volumes, I probably will, but like, as it stands right now, it's just kind of cute and pretty okay. The next things that I read that I'm going to talk about are Inspector Volume 1 and 2. I picked this up on a whim because Indigo was having a buy 5, get a bunch of free points thing, so I'm like, okay, well there's 4 volumes, so I might as well buy all 4 volumes and then buy one other thing and get the bonus points for them. So I don't regret this purchase at all. This one is about a girl named Kotoko, I think her name is. Yeah, Kotoko, and another boy named Kuro, and they've both, well, Kotoko was kidnapped by spirits when she was a young girl and she lost her leg and her eye. And because of that, she was also made into a goddess of wisdom, I do believe, for the yokai. And Kuro has eaten yokai meat, so he's like half human, sort of not human, but still human, partly yokai kind of thing. It's sort of a mess. And Kotoko, like, falls in love with him, but he doesn't love her kind of thing. And it's more, that part of it's kind of romancy and just, it's not great. But like, the action in this manga is really good, the story is interesting, there's just enough mystery to keep it going without being bogged down by like, it's a mystery manga, because it's not really that mysterious. I am really interested to see what's happening and where it's gonna go, so that's why it's so high up on my list of things that I'm hoping to get to. And then, I also read the first 4 volumes of the Sailor Moon manga, and this has been a trip. I have honestly never read the Sailor Moon manga before, and I've only seen a couple of seasons of like the unedited original Japanese subtitled series, and then I've watched some of the new dub, which is actually pretty good. I was not prepared for how dark this is. Like, they straight up murder people. It's very much, well, I mean, like, of course, the Sailor Moon Crystal was, like, a more faithful adaptation of these manga into the anime, so I kind of went into it thinking this was going to be a little bit darker than, like, the fluffy earlier Sailor Moon series, and it is. Like, they straight up murder people. Both, like, the dark side and the light side, because I've finished, well, this has the Queen Beryl stuff, Negaverse. I don't remember what that arc is called, and then like I'm mostly finished with the Dark Moon one. That's the Dark Crescent Moon on my forehead that I'm symbolizing there. I'm really excited. I guess there's only 12 issues in this redo, so I'm like already a third of the way through, and I'm very excited to see the second and third, because math. I'm excited to see the next like 2/3 of the series and how it goes, and get emotional, because I mean, I really enjoy the series, and I really enjoy the manga. I'm not nearly as attached to it as most other people are, even though, like, Sailor Moon was one of my first anime, and it was my first magical girl, and you never forget your first magical girl. It's just, there are parts to it that are irritating. I'm not big into, like, romance in my manga, because I just, most of the time, find it to be really stupid. And Usagi is kind of insufferable, I almost want to say, when it comes to Mamoru and stuff like that. But I mean, I'll deal. And then finally, I read the first 2 of the 4, these ones are considered omnibus, I guess? I don't know. It's the first half of the Cardcaptor Sakura manga series. I love it. I love it so much. It's so good. Cardcaptor Sakura, like when I watched it, it was Cardcaptors, was one of my favorite shows on TV when I was a kid, and now that I'm reading it as an adult with the whole unedited thing and not like weirdly localized for North American TV culture people, it's really good. They changed some things that I really wish they hadn't, like Lee loves Yukido, but doesn't understand that it's just, well, it's feeling his magical powers and stuff like that. He's just like all in love with him, and it's crazy, and like everyone's in love with everyone, and it's weird, and there's like teachers marrying students, and then also, like twice, that happens twice now that I think about it, and both the times the age gap between them is substantial. It's a little weird sometimes. Also, the character of Mei Ling doesn't exist in the manga, but she's in the TV show, which I'm also currently watching. I'm watching it for the first time with subtitles in the original Japanese language, and it's blowing my mind a little bit. Also, I didn't realize that how much of it was actually filler. Like, there's like a dozen cards in the manga, but there's a million of the cards in the anime, and it's just kind of, it's a weird sort of disconnect between the two, but I'm excited to experience them both in different ways. I'm just glad that Flowery exists in both the anime and the manga, because I know it's stupid, but I love the Flowery card. And, yeah, there you go. This is heavy, so I'm not going to hold this up for long, but this is all of the manga that I read in the last 2 weeks.